She's a bag.
Yeah. She's a bag, a home wrecker, and a cunt. Okay, that's the truth. Hey, it's Paige. We're here with our first episode of this book club. We're calling it Plot Teasers. And I'm here with Miranda and Alexis and Danny and Hannah of Love on Demand. And we all read the book, right?
I did.
Partially.
That's what I thought. For our first book club, we did a selection, which you all watched, and we picked Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, an author I love, who I've read a lot of because she's mostly contemporary. I think this is her first romantasy, right, guys?
I think so. So before we really get into it, I want to hear everybody's 30-second recap, review, and I'm going to start with the person who tried the hardest but read the least, Miranda. Let's go.
All right. I will say hard DNF'd it. I stopped at chapter 14. This is where they just finished the battle with the Marrow Wheels.
The who?
Marrow Wheels.
They're on the ship.
They're on the ship still. It's like
the eels. I thought you said Marrow Wheel.
That is their name.
That's the
Marrow
name. Marrow Wheel.
Sorry.
I wasn't hearing that correctly, and I do have my hearing aids in.
All right, I did a hard DNF on chapter 14. They just finished their battle with Marrow Wheels. They just gave her a sword because of she needs to fight. And I couldn't. It was just, I was getting lost. I love Odessa. I love her name, icon. But, okay.
That was really thorough.
Good job.
Good job.
That's all I got.
All right, Paige.
I actually liked it. I've read a lot of... What? What did I do? I liked it. Devney Perry. I like Devney Perry. I just read a lot of romantasy this year, and there's a lot of gods, plural, which kind of annoys me, and creatures and things. I do like The Guardian because he's kind of badass. If you listen to it like I did, you could hardly hear him. Was it me?
I had to turn it up every time.
I had to turn it up every time.
Wow.
If I have a criticism of this book, it was that guy. But at the end, the last chapter, when it was him, it was like super loud and clear for some reason. So I don't know if that was intentional. Anyway, I've been buzzed. So I guess we're moving on.
I did give you an extra 15 seconds, and that's
I
because
need it.
Paige owns the company. I loved it. I had a lot of fun reading this, although I will say, I forget what the flying beings are called, but I pictured them as pterodactyls.
The Cruxes.
And-
Me too.
Yes, and so
The
Cruxes.
Yeah.
And so then when I get to the end of the book, and spoiler Miranda, spoiler fans, and we find out that she is a Crux, maybe? I was like, she's a pterodactyl? And I was like, I couldn't imagine a less sexy thing to be turned into. As a woman, I don't want to be a pterodactyl. That's it. Yeah, that was like my one hang up, was that I had totally mispictured the Cruxes.
Yeah. I had looked at those pictures that we had looked at just a second
Yeah.
ago, and I had it in my head, and then I forgot, and so I switched to pterodactyl, and then when we got
Wait,
to
what
that
pictures?
scene,
Is there art for this?
Yeah,
There's art for
There's
this.
art on her platform of like what the animals look like.
I
appreciate that.
I didn't see that. I had a vision, and now I'm going to go check to see if my vision was accurate. But first, I want to hear Danny's. Thanks. So why don't you do that?
Absolutely.
I'm not to be
you. I
trusted.
feel like
Nothing
that.
makes me happier than pushing this button.
I feel like this is the spirit stick.
I
Your
agree.
fingers.
All right, ready?
Okay, yes. I also really loved it. I thought it was on the simpler side for a romantasy, but I was okay with that because I was able to read it a lot faster than what like a traditional romantasy would take me. I loved The Guardian. I think he's one of my favorite characters now. And I really liked that Odessa was not a female main character that right out of the gate, she was like, oh, I'm a badass, I can fight. She's like, no, I'm fucking clumsy, dude. I'm tripping over my feet. And she really like came into her own as a fighter.
Perfect.
as someone who reads fantasy mostly, I really liked this book. I do think it was simpler than the stuff that I've been reading. And I've been in Throne of Glass right now, so the difference in the female main character was really nice and refreshing. And I liked the variety of places that we traveled to, and the settings, and yeah.
Perfect.
Fabio!
I will say, I think this was like one of the biggest worlds. Like, I had such a strong sense of how large the world was.
Well, Calandra's like a planet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's how I saw it.
Yeah, she really made that whole journey. Yeah.
Like, what was it, 10 days on that ship or something?
Yeah.
Let's start by talking about the male main character. Miranda, who is the male main character?
Of course, that is a great question. It's going to be The Guardian.
Okay. But
Ding, ding, ding.
Right? Did I get that right? I don't know. That's what everybody kept saying.
That's
Okay.
right.
Perfect. I actually had a little confusion I was talking about earlier. The Guardian or Xavier, there was like a split second where I thought they were the same person.
I thought that too, actually, in the beginning.
really?
Because there was a second where Xavier's not talking, of course, because he's like, oh, it's a weak, like you can show like a weakness, but you really use it to your advantage. But he doesn't talk in front of Brielle or Jocelyn. And I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe, you know, only Odessa can see him, and he's really the Guardian in front of everybody else.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see. I definitely thought they were like the same person in some ways, and then I was like, wait, which one is the main character?
Yeah.
In the beginning, but because he didn't talk. But then when he did talk, I don't know if you got to that part.
I did.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't really add much, and like the only snippet I got was that she was like, she liked what the Guardian, like the little hate energy towards each other.
Gotta have some tension.
I mean, was anybody like into Bannon at the beginning?
No, Bannon's a
Banner.
he's a piece of
Banner,
shit.
yeah, let's say
Banner.
I knew that.
Banner.
Guys,
No.
it's been
Banner.
so long.
No, yeah, immediately. Immediately.
And then when I found out what a real piece of shit he was later on in the book,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what?
But like,
True.
I wasn't surprised that he was, honestly. Like, whenever he showed up, I was like, yeah,
I was just
that
surprised
checks
that
out.
he got with the maid because, like,
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a shock.
Right, 'cause
Spoiler.
Spoiler. Because, like, wasn't he like all like high and mighty and like I don't know?
He was
really
only marrying her
proud?
because
Yeah.
it was like arranged in the fact that if he
Right.
wanted to be a part of like the royal family,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
like this whole thing. But I thought, you know who I pictured? It was like the husband in Outlander. That's the physical picture, not
okay.
the bad guy.
seen it.
You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
future
yeah.
one. I don't know if
Yeah.
you ever watched that show.
We'll pop up a picture.
Yeah, I was seeing him as that character.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you
Interesting.
watched it. It makes sense.
Oh,
I
we should do a
thought.
fan cast the next time. We all bring in like a little laptop. and we do
We
fan
can
cast.
do that. Like who we
that
think would
idea.
play the characters.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
Well, I mean, who would be the Guardian?
He would Xavier for me.
Yes! All right, we already casted it. The Guardian is Kit Harington.
Oh,
Moving on.
I love that. Yes, I'm in.
I think
Guardian.
of
I
Theo,
can see
Theo
that.
James. I always think
Oh,
of him.
that's what I was like. Theo Von. That's not
No.
right. It's Theo James.
Who's Theo James? What's he in?
Divergent.
Which
all
one
of-
is he in?
all-
White Lotus?
Everything that just said.
Divergent.
He's in the second season.
Second
Which
season.
one?
He's the one who's married to Megan Fahey.
And cheating on her.
That's correct.
Divergent? Please.
No, there's no way.
I've seen
There's no way,
Divergent.
yeah. The second season, how it's Audrey Plaza and her husband, and then
The guy who was
best
doing the
friend.
coke, or the
Yes.
best, the guy who was like doing all the coke and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, I could see that. That's
Yeah.
how I have to know what it is because all the new
Yeah,
actors.
yeah, yeah.
I knew back in like the day of Julia
everybody's
Roberts.
crush began in Divergent, though, because he plays 4.
Yeah, but but back to the male main character. Was
Yes.
anybody like into Xavier? Because I struggled for the first 150 pages, being like, who am I supposed to be into in this book? Because Banner's awful, Xavier's bland, and the Guardian didn't get established until like 200 pages
And
in.
he was
and
kind
then
of a dick.
And he was kind of a dick. But I like that because I
I
love an
liked
enemies
it.
to lovers. I love a
Yeah.
Morgan
Yeah,
Le
I liked
Grey. But it took me a moment to be like, oh my god, I love the Guardian.
It took me
Honestly-
a long moment to like him,
Yeah.
actually. Because he was mean to her in the training. I understand why, but
Yeah.
I'm like, be nicer and be enamored by her and be in love with her right now. You know? I was like, you're being a schmuck.
But he
that's
knows
too
they're
easy.
married.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Spoiler.
he's married to
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, and he knows that.
He's
not
sitting there
following.
freaking
Miranda's not following.
Wait, hold on. Okay, actually, can we go back to the contract? Because
Yes.
she was married to Xavier.
Correct. But
Yes.
who said the words?
Yeah,
The
who?
Guardian.
Yeah.
Right. But and then the blood thing too, because he had green blood,
Yes.
so he couldn't exchange blood with her. Did you know that they were infected with this thing?
No, I
And
won't.
then their mom created the thing?
She's nowhere near any of
spoiler.
She's literally nowhere near any of this.
Yeah, that's true. She's like on the boat still.
I'll be ready
Yeah.
for the movie, I promise.
Apparently, this
watch
is going
it.
to be a hot take. I loved The Guardian from the start because I was
Really? I did
like,
too.
yeah.
There was
I
tension.
thought-
Yeah.
I loved the tension, and also I don't know. I immediately thought Xavier was bland also, and so I was like, well, at least like he's entertaining and like his wit is funny, and like he obviously, whether it's because from the get-go it was because he like literally had to, or because he was just genuinely okay. Pause. Whenever she finds out that like they're the ones that are married and like he's the one that picked her, and I knew it was going to be the cliff jump.
I thought so too. I knew that
The
too.
whole time, the whole time I
Yes.
was racking my mind. I was like, where was there another person during that cliff jump? Where could he have
Yes.
seen her?
And I loved that though. I loved whenever he's talking about how seeing her just completely free, like just jumping off the cliff and then like having to like sneak back into the castle, like dripping wet and everything. I thought it was the sweetest thing. It is kind of a cliche because I guess we've seen it in stories before.
But I love
just-
that cliche.
Yeah.
I and I
Yeah.
do too. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, I don't know. From the beginning, I was like,
Yeah.
I like this. I really hope this is the thing.
But also,
If you
I
could
like
speak up,
that.
though.
I like that Xavier. He wasn't bland because he was like a bland character. He was
Right.
bland for
Sure.
a reason.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Wait, okay,
he
so-
played his part.
So do you want to know what it
Having
was?
a really well-rounded character.
So
by the
he
end
was
of it.
like a stand-in.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay,
So,
so Xavier wasn't really, he was like a cousin, but like in the royal days, they had to have stand-ins to protect the family just in case, and let
Somebody-
the entire world think that he might be the prince just so that they had to keep the prince alive, you know?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm
And
there,
as
I'm
they get
here.
older, they're supposed to say, no, this guy's really the prince, not this guy, but they haven't done that yet.
Because he's sick with this thing.
Yeah. He's sick with the thing that's taking over the country.
Yeah.
The world, actually,
Yeah.
the planet.
Wait,
No.
what plot twist surprised you guys the most? Because I'm gonna be honest, when the mom admitted to creating the
Yes.
disease, I
How
was
about
like,
when the mom was actually the mom who was the teacher of the daughter?
please.
Yes.
No one
That
knew
was
that.
so
obvious. Yeah.
I didn't know that. It's okay.
I think Jocelyn.
Jocelyn
like,
was
she
my
really-
biggest plot twist.
Wait,
Because she was a bad.
she's in the middle of a threesome with the prince, and she's like, Bobby, sorry.
Fake prince. Fake prince.
Xavier, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Wait.
I think we should do like a breakdown real quick.
Like one of these timelines.
I like just throwing them at Miranda.
Like that. Okay, wait. Okay, because there's a
So-
wait, hold on. There was a little one point they were talking. She was explaining like, oh, Bree's been with me for 3 years, and I was like, she never explained how long Jocelyn's been with her, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna ignore Jocelyn.
No, but they were really subservient to both the girls, but
Yes.
more so the other sister.
Yeah, they were, but they still had like, I don't know. There was like a relationship anyway. But
Yeah.
I'm ready.
So, we find out that Xavier is not the real prince because Odessa goes to find. Actually, I think she's just trying to get back to her room.
Yeah.
And she finds
Xavier.
She finds Jocelyn with two men, like.
Around.
One of them, Xavier.
Yes,
Okay.
and one of them is Xavier. And so that's whenever Odessa realizes, oh, Xavier's not interested in me. He hasn't been paying me any attention.
Yeah.
It's because he's not even attracted to me,
Yes.
right?
Because they're not sleeping in the same room.
Right.
That's right.
So she's upset. She takes off. She goes to her room. The guardian's sitting there waiting, and he's like, wait, what happened? And Xavier walks up, and he's like, I'm so sorry to the guardian. And we're all like, wait, why are you so sorry? What is happening? And so that's whenever she finds out that the guardian is actually the Prince of Tura. They have switched places because of how she was explaining like the stand-in thing.
Yeah.
Side note, I do think she forgives him a little quickly. Like, I understand why they couldn't tell the
Yeah.
truth and
Yes.
everything, because she was kind of like a spy for her dad in the beginning. That all makes sense. And logically, I understand she even has the thought process, what am I going to do? It's not like I can just get on a boat and go home now. I haven't found anything out for my dad. But I was like, she could have made him grovel a little bit more.
Yeah, I also felt that way.
Yeah,
I would
but
have enjoyed that.
That's whenever she actually starts to have a relationship with the Guardian instead of Xavier. And Jocelyn does pretend to be like, so sorry and da-da-da-da.
Wait. But
But-
did Xavier tell Jocelyn that, like, oh, I'm just like,
No,
the
he
fake
didn't
prince?
tell her. She
didn't know.
believed.
Yeah, she
she's a
didn't.
bag.
Yeah, she didn't know. Nobody
She
knew.
didn't know.
She wanted to be
willingly did it.
Yeah,
She's
nobody.
a bag, a
Yes.
home wrecker, and a okay.
Yeah.
Only
Whoa.
like,
Yes.
only like his very close knit.
And it was also her with Banner, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was
No,
Miguel with
we haven't-
Banner.
Yeah, that was-
oh, they're
that was
both.
Well, not necessarily. But yeah, so because Jocelyn didn't actually know, Odessa sends her back on a boat, like back home, because she's like,
Good.
you can't stay here,
Be
obviously.
10 days sick.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it is later found out that they mentioned it in the beginning, that there's a rumor that Banner has a woman in town.
Yes.
So we find out that that's Brielle. Yeah.
Yeah, Banner's a piece of shit. Like, he's a
Yes,
real piece
that's
of shit. And that's why the Guardian hates him for more than one reason.
I guess
Also, another plot twist, we find out that the reason why the Guardian killed Banner's brother is because Banner's brother was sex trafficking women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought,
is a
I do
crazy
like it when
book.
authors like make
really is.
today themes and present day themes
Well, it
relevant
happened
in their
all
fan.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but this one was like a massive standout to me. That whole trafficking thing.
I just wish there was like, because I was also thinking Odessa doesn't really have a second person where she can confide to.
Exactly. So it it really cuts her deep whenever she realizes
Yeah.
like the two people that she thought could have actually been her friends weren't
That makes me
there
really
for her
sad
at all.
for her.
So it's really hard.
Sorry.
Especially because she took such good care of them on the
Yes!
boat.
Yes.
When they were puking and shit. She was really nice about the whole thing.
And in
she's
trio,
really ni-
throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, and then she's really nice, and she's like, Jocelyn, like, sure, you my husband. I'll send you home. That's
she
what you
didn't love
wanted
it.
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, she didn't love him. Yes, she was fine with it, but she's like, I'll send you home because that's what you really want.
Yeah.
And then Jocelyn's like, this is where they're at, and then that's how the army gets to.
I love how you say, this
the-
is where they're at.
Like Jocelyn just sucks for multiple reasons.
They both do.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
Let's
much
be
so.
honest. They're
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
horrid women.
Yeah.
Which I find to be a very common theme too. Like you really all books are sort of designed to think some of the other women, unless they're the friend. Like we like the mom until whatever.
But we have sympathy for the mom.
We have sympathy
We
for
do.
the mom.
Yeah.
Like there are other people. There's other women in the village that we like, but there's always like those bitchy characters that are in every book that we just like want to hate so bad. And I feel like
They're the villains.
I know, but it's just like that also correlates. Like there are bitchy people and we want to hate them.
There are villains for sure.
Any questions?
Y'all thought
No, I'm like, maybe I should read.
you should.
Yeah, it's
You
really
listen.
good.
Just listen.
I know. Just,
Y'all thought Luella being responsible for Lysa was a plot twist though, right?
Definitely
Like,
was a plot
none of
twist.
us saw
Well,
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you saw her putting it together too with like the flowers, and she comes in with the thing with the plants and stuff, and you're just like, I like. Also, I thought it was like really quick how like she's like you could see the wheels turning. I could see it, like in a movie where she's like doing it in her head, and she's kind of figuring out how it's all
Well,
coming
no, she's
together.
been getting hints like before with all of the books that I can't remember her.
Yeah, and the guy
Oh,
that
that's
wrote
right.
the negative book, the guy who was the in the town with his
Samuel.
son,
Oh,
Yeah.
Samuel.
Like so, she was getting like little hints here and there. She just hadn't figured out all the pieces to put.
But
it
all of a sudden,
together
she like
yet.
was like, "Wait a minute! I've got all this now in my head, and I'm going to put it all together." She put it all together pretty quickly, I thought.
Yeah.
You know,
She's smart.
yeah. I'm like, I
Well, I think it makes sense. Like her whole life, nobody's really trusted her with any information, so
Yeah.
she's used to kind of just like letting those things go.
Right.
Yeah.
or figuring them out on her own.
Yeah, she loves to
Yeah.
read. Like she's always been, I think, more mentally strong than physically strong.
Which I actually think
Yeah.
appeals to just like all of us as women and readers, right? Like
Yeah.
that character. I
Yeah.
liked that character for the same reason you did too. I liked that she was real. She was tripping over her feet. She wasn't a bad right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
Like-
other one who was pregnant, that's who I was talking about in the village. She was her friend.
Oh yes.
Oh, I loved her.
I liked her a lot too, and I felt like she was a good friend to her. And there's always like that
Yeah.
character too who I really liked, and how she was like, "I'll show you how to do it, and I'll show you how to do it from the female perspective better."
Yeah.
And I liked that too. I liked
Well, and
that
that's it.
camaraderie
Yeah.
between them.
I know y'all had mentioned that like the training montage like felt like it was long, but I felt like it
think it was
had
long
to
as you
be.
The problem is I'm in the middle of reading Throne of Glass also, and
There's
there's
so
so many
much.
training montages.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And so I'm just, it's not a criticism of this book. It's
Yeah.
It's a
just
criticism of romantasy.
I'm just
I thi-
over training montages.
Yeah.
I feel like it was the length that it needed to be because she wasn't this like born fighter. Like she
Yeah.
had to actually go through and like brick
Be
by
nauseous
brick
and
build this
sweat.
up herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really fitting, and I was entertained the whole time. Like the ship ride over, I was entertained the whole time. The training montage, I was entertained the whole time. Like
I was
once I
entertained during
sat down
training.
and started it, I was not stopping until I finished it because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it moved really, really quickly. And then when the plot twist started, they just didn't stop coming.
I know.
Yeah.
It was
all of a sudden,
like
like,
one
bam,
after
bam,
another.
bam, bam.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
I
crazy.
loved it.
Well, the final plot twist was my favorite, and I had to think about it.
Yes.
I literally finished it and called you right away. And I was like, well, clearly she's related or something's going on. They're dyeing her hair, so they know that the crux is like that's why they're dyeing her hair back in
Yeah.
she has red hair, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but they're always dyeing it brown because
But
that's
they do mention ahead of time though that her stepmother was the one dyeing her hair brown because it reminded her of her mother.
Yeah.
So it's like, did they know?
I think they.
it was her mother who went
Was-
down
Yeah.
first. That's what
Yeah,
I
Yeah, because wait, did we ever find
Right.
out how she died?
No, I don't think.
No,
they
we do at the
mention
end.
it. Well, we don't know that that's her mother though.
I think it is. And I think
Oh,
that
I
it's
think
been
you're
said
right.
that she died. So that's my theory, right? I think that the woman who he killed, who became the female, I totally had a vision of all of that too, of them falling. And like after he stabs her and she's like slowly turning into a human as they like go down to earth. And it's her. Like she never really died. She just had to migrate out. And like the dad loved her. And so he's like, get out, go be part of this world that you're already a part of. And then I think the Voster, I think that they're evil.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
they're
Absolutely.
evil. And actually the
Yeah.
Crux are
I'm
not
leading,
the evil one.
No, stop. With the cliffhanger, I'm leading on to hope. Like, the last thing that she says is, like, the Guardian trusted them, so, like, she's gonna hope for the best.
The Guardian's been
That's
duped.
the only... Stop.
Agreed.
That's the only thing that I have to keep me sane until the next book.
No, the Fosters are definitely evil.
With the
They're
nails, the
definitely
way that they're described physically too.
I'm on your side,
Was
Danny.
it ever disclosed why
Do you
she
mean
has that reaction to the Voster in the
Because
magic?
No, and it also does
they're
bother me.
positioned against each other in like this whole
That's why I
planet.
think so,
Yeah.
It bothers me that...
He's like, who's your mother?
No, it bothers
The
me
one who
that
just
she...
got murdered by the Guardian.
It bothers me that she thought that this was like a completely normal reaction, that she didn't voice it ahead of time.
No, I think
But
they
I
told
thought-
her that.
You know-
I think her family told her that.
No, she was completely forgotten by her entire family like 90% of the time. I truly think she just never thought anything of it. I think she thought it was normal for everybody to have that kind of
because the
reaction.
children weren't reacting to them and stuff.
Yeah.
What I do think is cool, though, is if in the first book, the Guardian is duping her because he's making her believe all these things that aren't true.
With
And then-
Xavier and stuff?
Right, yeah. And then in the second book,
The
she has
Voster.
to realize that he's had the wool pulled over his eyes. I think that would be so
I
compelling.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
that's like
And
such
she
a
went off with the
story.
Foster and the kid.
Yeah.
So
She
now
have a
she's with
choice.
them.
Right.
And
yeah.
I feel like the second book is going to be like him trying to find her and her being trapped with the Foster and the kid.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I
and
think.
She does kind of
Devney.
lead to that, like towards the end anyway. Whenever she does kind of lead to that anyway, though. Whenever she's like trying to figure out more information about Alessandra, what is it called? The town?
Alisaria.
Alisaria.
Oh, yeah.
She does kind of lead to that already, where she feels like he's in the dark as to what is really happening. So I do think that is going to play into it for sure.
Do we feel like Alessandria is a real place? Is that a question?
I
in
think
this?
it is.
Yeah.
What, the other kingdom?
Yeah, the
Oh, you
city,
mean
the
the
city.
capital.
The capital, yeah.
That's very Hunger Games. See,
it
I have to
wasn't-
relate to everything to
I
the
think
movie.
it
Yeah.
is, but I don't know if it is
was-
Alisaria.
It was on the map,
It's
right?
like Oz.
No, it's
It's
not
on
on
the
a
map.
It's like
Yeah.
Oz.
Yeah, it's
And
not on it.
we find out that there's some sort of like blood contract that the Guardian is under, to where he physically cannot
Everybody.
say
Everybody that's been
anything.
there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody that's ever been in and out of Alisaria has to sign some sort of NDA of sorts, and blood. But there's something evil happening because everyone scowls when she mentions it.
I feel like he
Yeah.
definitely is not in the know of everything. So I feel like whatever she ends up going into or getting into, I feel like he's going to be really surprised.
I mean, he's going to be pissed too, I think, that he's got the wool pulled over his
absolutely.
eyes. That's what I
Yeah.
think. He's going to be like, I
Absolutely.
can't believe I let these people siphon my dirty blood.
Yes.
I think Lysa's also somehow, even though it was like accidental in the mother, I do think there's something about it that is also connected to the Crux.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, and that's why they're trying to siphon it, because they're trying to hold the power.
Yeah. Like
That's
they're trying
why I
to
was
start their own
curious.
army or something with
Bam.
that blood. Yeah, I agree.
Well, and I think Luella already thought that Ramsay was, because that's why she was trying to be so careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got evil, like psycho evil. But you know
Yeah.
what? She hated him, and he couldn't take it. His ego, his fragile ego, couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And it was like an arranged marriage too, right?
Yeah.
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 They were, yeah. Because she didn't love him.
Because who would?
Yeah.
Because
Who
he's
would?
a schmuck.
And he wants to burn the books, which is crazy.
Another like real time
Yes.
peasant
Such a
sort of
red flag.
situation.
Yes.
The cancellation of books, right?
That's right. That's right. We need
Yeah.
books.
Such a red flag.
Yeah.
So I
But
do
do
like.
we think he was burning books to protect Tura from like outside countries, or do we think he was burning the books
to hold
because
power.
To hold
because
power.
he
To
wants
hold
to protect
power.
himself?
Because the less information is power. And if you continue to rid the world of it, you're giving everyone less power and you're hoarding it for yourself.
That's right.
Clock
That's
it, babe.
right.
Clock it.
That's
Yeah.
simple.
Stand on that
simple
business.
explanation right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So now that we have discussed our thoughts
Spoiled
on
the out of it too.
Boom.
out of it.
Yeah.
We're gonna go around one more time. 30 seconds. Has your mind changed at all from this conversation? Is there something that
Miranda?
surprised you? Yeah, I mean, really, I'm curious about Miranda. So let me just get my handy dandy timer. And then,
She's
are you
so
ready?
official and authoritative.
I know. You know, I need structure.
I know you
President of
do.
middle
Okay.
school over here.
That's right.
That's so
I
true.
peaked. Okay.
You're still peeking.
After my very first book club that I did not finish my book, I think I would read it, but we're gonna have to move on to the next book, so I probably will not.
Wait, have you started it?
No. But honestly, it does seem like really interesting. Maybe I will come back to it. I like that there's a lot more plot teasers. It's just like really 500 pages.
More than that,
But you have until the movie comes out, which is so
You're
long.
right. You're right. I have a couple more years. But yeah, I think it was really good. It sounds really fun.
Perfect.
I liked it a lot, and I did think I was appreciative that the world build wasn't so like, wait, what? No, I liked that I could, it was easily figured out, and I like listening to audibles for romantasy, and here's why: so that you know the names of things since it's made up words.
I can just bug her though. It's fine.
I know, but that's why I always recommend an audible
always do
for a romantasy, so that I know how things are pronounced.
I just decided my own pronunciation.
Yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with this.
I like
Yeah.
creating words too.
Yeah,
I like to know
yeah.
how the author heard it.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair. So this conversation, I think, reinvigorated me, and it was like, oh, I really actually enjoy like all of the plot twists, everything that happened. I've definitely read a lot of romantasy this year, so it does kind of all start to bleed together at some point. But I will definitely be picking this up in April of 2026. Yeah,
will too.
yeah.
gotta know
Well,
what
I mean,
happens.
we're gonna do a book club episode, right?
I, again, already loved it. Getting to talk about it again, yeah, it definitely just like, it got me excited again thinking about how much I really did enjoy it. I read it so quickly that by the time I was done, I was like, man, I wish I would have like made it like last a little bit longer so that way I wouldn't have to wait so long. So yeah, I will absolutely be rereading it whenever it's time for the next book to come out because I'm gonna need the refresher. But yeah, it was really nice just getting to talk about everything that happened.
Yeah, I really liked the book, and I think, it made me more interested to, like, dive into some of the theories that are out there. The crux one being the biggest one, because I didn't see that one coming, and I had no explanation for it, so. But I have one major issue with this book. If the migrations have been happening for so many years, every 30 years, they should be way more prepared for it. You're telling me they don't have any weapons?
Or
to go?
bunkers?
They were like, oh, it's coming up in, like, 4 months, and we still haven't made any weapons for this. Huh?
I
That
agree.
doesn't
Good
make any
point.
sense.
Good point.
Doesn't make any sense.
That's
so
It's been
really
bothering
fair.
me this whole time.
But isn't that kind of realistic? Because, like, I'm from Florida. We have hurricanes all the time. And guess what? My cities still flood. And
Well,
we've
look,
known
I
about this
think-
for a long time.
You're right.
Well,
This
I
is a
feel
bigger
like
issue.
the town was more prepared, and like they've altered the way that they build like their cities. But I feel like if you have no weapons ready, and it happens every 30 years, you know when it happens. And they even made a point to say this is supposed to be happening in like the spring or whenever it was coming up, and that was so many months out. And they're like, we still haven't started making the certain weapon that they used to
The giant spikes
the
that they
gi-
made.
yeah.
That's the kingdom spot.
It's
That's
6
the
months
kingdom.
out.
That's my problem with romantasy, by the way.
Or
But that's, like, in
government
general.
inefficiency. I
Yes.
don't know.
That is
Maybe there's
accurate.
a larger
That
theme
does
there.
make a really good point though for the end of the book whenever the crux like all of a sudden lands out of nowhere and they're like, wait, it's early.
Right.
God forbid
Yeah.
they not stick
Yeah.
to its like same timetable every
Right.
year. That is a good point. Like
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
prepared.
Well, with romantasy in general, like they have like magical powers and all these things, and they don't have like a cell phone. There's not an elevator. Can't get on a plane.
It's in a
Like, what the
different
fuck?
world.
Yeah, no, it's not
No,
urban. It's not urban
They don't have
fantasy.
any
It's not urban
technology.
fantasy.
I don't know.
All right, so real quick, will we be reading book 2 when it comes out? Miranda. Paige.
I'm gonna read it or listen.
For sure.
Absolutely, you cannot stop me.
Absolutely, and the third one.
Yes.
It's a trilogy.
There's always one. I love that. I love that.
All right,
No, it's
lovers.
gonna be
We'll
great.
see you next time.
Stay tuned. The next book club pick is coming soon.